Welcome to TYT Sports NFL Playoff Recap, brought to you by the Vizio P-Series 4K Ultra HD Smart TVs. I'm joined today by J.R. Jackson and Lindsey McCormick to discuss what was actually a fantastic game between the Colts and the Broncos. There was so much backstory to the game: Peyton Manning, the Colts, the Broncos, Andrew Luck. I mean, and the fact that these two teams, were, I think, the elites of that conference for much of the season coming into the season. Then the Patriots surprised a lot of people, especially after their slow start. Your first takeaway, were you surprised? I mean, 9.5-point underdogs. This is, and I'll just add, the second time that the Broncos have been 9.5-point underdogs at home and lost. They did it to the Ravens 2 years ago, and then, of course, they did it yesterday to the Colts.
Before this game was coming in, I was thinking, we know Andrew Luck is, I think, an amazing quarterback. So in thinking, I think they just need to keep the game close because he'll bring it home, I think. If they're within 10 points, it's going to work out. So the fact that they broke out to a lead by halftime, it's pretty much over because I knew they weren't going to really relinquish that, especially seeing the way the Broncos were playing. But also what they were 8-0 at home this season, the Broncos were. Yeah. So it was pretty much the environment you figured you didn't want to go into. But this is the kind of team that you could see just kind of weathering through it. And you look up and you're like, oh, I guess the Colts just won. You don't really see it happen.
Yeah, and you hate to go to 8-1 at home when that one is that game. It's sort of like the Panthers, the other day in Seattle. You're in the second round of the playoffs. You don't like to see your season record slip below 500. Lindsey, what was your takeaway from that?
I wasn't necessarily shocked or surprised at how the Broncos played because you kind of never know what you're going to get with Peyton Manning in the playoffs. Yeah. So you just kind of expect a show. But I was surprised about how good Andrew Luck was. Like, we knew how good he was, but we didn't know until we saw this game. I mean, I think he had like 20 pass attempts in 21 minutes, so they were using him nonstop. And he was just putting on a show. He and T.Y. Hilton, Talib couldn't cover T.Y. Hilton. So
there were some like razor sharp passes yesterday, unlike we've seen. I think in most of the playoffs. I mean, there's been some great quarterbacking, but there's a precision that you get with Andrew Luck and a coolness that you don't expect to get, especially on the road in Denver. Talk about John Fox. I mean, is it time? I mean, people are saying they signed him, less than a year ago to a long-term contract. The coach of the Broncos, he hasn't been able to get it over the hump. What do we think about that?
I feel like the blame is laying more on Peyton Manning because they feel like he was doing that even when he was in Indianapolis and then now in Denver. It's the same story. So I feel like he inserted the right kind of system. They keep winning. We keep expecting them to win, and then they don't. And then so now we're left to look and say, well, what happened again? Because we missed how this didn't work.
Here's a bright light for the Broncos, and that's this C.J. Anderson, who is just such a good runner. And they brought him along slowly. Do you see him, Lindsey, as being as sort of changing the way that offense runs, whether Manning, independent of Manning? Do you see that being a new way for them to go?
Absolutely. I mean, he seemed to be a leader on the field. Like right before the play where he broke 3 or 4 tackles to keep the drive alive, he was pulling out one of I guess it was their guard out of a tiff, and then was like, get back on it. Like, he was a leader on that field. Absolutely, and he's an athlete. Yeah, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, well, and I'm guessing you've seen one. The mystique about the Colts used to be with Peyton Manning, and now it goes to Andrew Luck. Are they able, with this group of people, to go into to New England without Dan Herron is good. They like him. He protected the ball well. Yeah. But they're not a. I mean, as you said, he threw 21 times in just a
21 minutes.
In 21 minutes. Yeah. Can they beat New England without a rushing game?
This is going to be the same way I expected, the kind of game I thought we were going to get in Denver. They have to stay close. And this is going to be about their defense. They did mention their D-backs for Indianapolis. They said they took basically a page out of Seattle's playbook from the Super Bowl last year and how they beat Peyton and their offense. They not roughed up like in a bad way, but you jam up their receivers, you throw off the timing because there's a timing type of offense.
Yeah.
You throw off what they can do, and then now you have some time to get to the quarterback. It's going to be the same type of game, at least that kind of game plan.
And that's such a good point, JR. You didn't see Peyton going deep at all. The sort of the signature throws of Peyton Manning, where you do a little bit up the middle, a little bit over the line of scrimmage, you run once or twice, and then you go go deep twice. That didn't happen. I mean, the 2 deep passes in a row, which is so one
And
of
that
those
was it
signatures.
felt like a timing difference.
Yeah.
If the game is close next week and you keep it within a touchdown or 2, Tom Brady is so good under pressure, they will win.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
Okay, so your percentages the percentage of the Colts winning against New England next week.
I think, again, I'm underestimating Andrew Luck, but I think the Patriots have a 60, same 40-60, 60%
So
chance of
60%.
winning.
You're going with an even number
Yeah.
again, Lindsay. JR, the pressure is on you not to come up with a multiple of 5.
Whether or not the Colts, we're going with the Colts now, if they can win. I'm almost going to favor the Colts, but I'll give them 47%.
All right, we can
47%.
They're just
chance.
under. They're just under. So I'm not going to favor them yet.
I can Twitter smack talk with you then next week. if
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
favoring the
definitely.
Colts.
I am going to say JR is absolutely right. The Patriots have a 47% chance of winning. The Colts a 53% chance.
You guys are underestimating Brady. Prime time.
I mean, look,
pressure.
It's too late in life to underestimate Brady. Like it's that underestimating him is over. He's that good. One thing before we leave this game, that what everybody's waiting for is the Phil Simms stats from yesterday's game. Phil Simms talked about 21 times. He said Denver for Denver 8 times. And his quote of the day, according to Phil Simms, quotes, "If you can get one more play in and get someone out of bounds, I would try a long field goal." 34 seconds remaining, down by 11. That's your Phil Simms quote of the day. And also, just the runner-up to that quote was to Jim Nantz. Jim, I give credit to what the Colts did today in this game. They won the game.
Well done.
I thank J.R. Jackson and Lindsay McCormick for joining me today on TYT Sports NFL Playoff Recap, brought to you by the Vizio P-Series 4K Ultra HD Smart TV.